Well, I think I broke it. Is anyone out there? I'm having trouble seeing how many people have joined so far. I thought I saw one earlier. Please let me know. If you can hear me, just go ahead and please submit a question that says you can hear me, and then we'll get started. If not, I'm going to go ahead and give it 2 more minutes, and then I'm just going to get started. I see we have at least two people. Can you guys hear me at all? I've switched computers to a Chromebook, and I'm just hoping that anyone could see or hear me okay.
Democrat E says, teacher just posted the new status in extreme bad loss. Teacher just wrote, Chuck, there is no way to enter text into the Hangout to become a Democratic hero.
All right, I have questions enabled. Um, that should be good to go for that. But I'm going to go ahead and get started, and we will go from there. So, all right, well, first of all, congratulations to everyone on your progress. Some people have seen very big scale changes. Some people have had changes in their measurements, and some people have been able to change a habit. And I think that we should celebrate every single success. So, again, great job, everyone. I wanted to mention that I haven't been very aggressive with the calorie goals. So many people won't or haven't seen these gigantic weight swings that you may have seen on fad diets before. Uh, the problem with that is while a gigantic weight swing in the first week does get people kind of to buy in to their plans, I also think it sets unrealistic expectations. I've been there myself, and you can have a first week on a plan. Okay, you can hear me. That's great. Give me 1 second here.
Carolyn says, BFLQ&A.
Sorry, I have an app on my other laptop that reads my emails out loud, and that's going to get really annoying really quick. So give me 1 second. I'm going to turn that off. There. Sorry about that. So where was I? Oh yeah. So I've been there myself, where you start a fad diet, you lose like 5 pounds in the first week, and then you have the expectation that that's going to continue, and then you feel devastated when you don't lose anything in a given week, which can be normal, or you feel bad when you only lose half a pound, which is not the behavior we want to start with here. So a couple of people have said that they can hear and see me. So I'm just going to get started with questions. I'm not sure why some people can't enter any questions, but I have Q&A turned on, so I'm not entirely sure. So the first question that was posted in group was, what condition should I be aware of that will lead me to regain the weight that I've lost? Or more specifically, how can I ensure that my weight loss is permanent? This is a great question. From my experience, the only way you can ensure your weight loss is permanent is that you cause that weight loss to happen using the habits and lifestyle changes that you're going to have in place when you're at that goal weight. So whatever you're going to use to maintain that weight is what you should use to get there. So if you try to lose the weight with a fad diet, where once you lose the weight, you immediately just go back to the way you used to do things, you're going to regain that weight probably even faster than you lost it. This is why I believe it's important to lose the weight through habits you can live with for good, because once the weight loss stops, you simply continue as you were, and the weight doesn't come back, and it's just life is normal. You still may have to make minor adjustments here and there through trial and error, and then depending on what your further goals are. But for the most part, once you kind of find the sweet spot of I can live with this, and I'm losing at a pace that's acceptable to me, then you can just basically stay there and only have to make minor adjustments. And then once you've reached your goal, your end, quote unquote, end goal, nothing changes. You just keep going, and then you're done. You just have to maintain those habits for as long as you want to maintain your weight loss. Now, I wanted to add too, it's not necessarily that you'll need to track in MyFitnessPal every single day for the rest of your life. That's certainly not the case. I've been doing this for coming on 6 years now, and there was an entire year where I didn't track anything as far as nutrition, and I was able to maintain my weight, give or take 5 pounds, which is pretty good for me. The weight I was maintaining at, I wasn't entirely happy with. That's why I'm still kind of going through the process myself again now. But it's really, the act of tracking really helps you learn how calorie dense certain foods are that you like, and what proper portions are for meal sizes you should have, to meet those goals without having to actually track. It's basically retraining all the things we've learned about what portions are, and that the act of tracking lets you be precise when you're actively trying to move the scale downward. But once you've kind of retrained those, it is possible to not have to worry about tracking forever. Let's see. So I want to mention that it's incredibly important to lose the weight that way using the habits that will be your maintenance habits, because in comparison with losing weight, keeping weight off and not trying to move the scale up or down anymore is incredibly difficult, especially even compared with weight loss, because you don't really have a concrete goal in mind anymore. So maintaining an average weight for a long period of time that you're happy with can be difficult, because the scale can have huge fluctuations depending on a number of things, and you're not actively trying to get to like lose X pounds or weigh this or anything like that. So you kind of have to find other goals for yourself, be they in fitness or other things. And it can be tougher to find motivation and be objective about, am I actually maintaining, or am I backsliding into old habits? So it does take a little bit of adjustment to switch to that. So that's why I want to stress that it's important that you lose it with habits you can live with for good, because it may actually get harder once you don't care about losing X pounds anymore or being at a certain weight. And the second question that was asked is, how important is it that I hit my protein goal daily? I am used to eating empty calorie food all day long. Since I've changed to eating high protein meals 4 times a day, I'm rarely hungry and seem to stay under my calorie goal without reaching my protein goal. So, the short answer is the calorie goal is way more important than the protein goal. The aha is that your calorie goals are tied to your protein goals. So what that means is that if your protein goal were actually lower, so would your calorie goal be lower. Because protein takes a lot more energy to digest in your body. Hold on one second. Oh, yes. Because protein takes more energy to digest in your body, let's say a gram of carbohydrates is 4 calories, a gram of fat is 9 calories, a gram of protein is officially 4 calories, but there's something called the thermic effect of food, and that's how much energy it actually takes to process that. So in reality, protein is lower than 4 calories per gram of protein because it takes so much energy to use and digest it. So if your goal is 150 grams of protein and you're barely hitting 100 every day, your calorie goal, according to what I've given you, is probably too high for that shorter or smaller level of protein. And it's likely that for you to continue to move into progress, you will need to have that calorie goal adjusted downward. I'd rather not do that, and I don't think that's a great idea for long-term weight loss. And I can't make someone eat protein when they physically are full, and I don't want you to do that. But I fully believe that the higher protein intake is critical for losing a large amount of weight and keeping it off permanently. Like I said, I don't want you to force feed yourself to make yourself sick, but I'll go into that in a second, about ways you can not feel so bad from eating so much protein. But for the most part, I'm going to say that we will be adjusting calorie goals downward as we kind of go through the weeks. So I'd rather you be a little bit stuffed right now from your protein goals, because once we move that calorie goal down, you're going to want to stay full. So I don't want you to eventually be starving all day long once your calorie goals have been adjusted downward, and also once you've been in a calorie deficit for so long. So given that long-term fat loss is a slow process and can take a very long time, you could be in a calorie deficit for months in a row. Because of that, the goals I've set for everyone as far as calories and protein are set up for long-term planning. So, even though the title of the class is Extreme Fat Loss, it's not rapid fat loss. The goal here isn't to lose 50 pounds in a month, because it's likely that whatever means you would need to be able to do that, they're not sustainable and you can't keep it off. So with that said, I'd ask that you not stress over not hitting it exactly. So if your goal is 150 grams, try to hit that. If you're hitting 130 grams, that's okay. Keep trying. It's not one of those things you need to worry about that much. Part of the reason, I'm assuming, why you have a coach is to let someone else worry about that stuff. Do your best. Let me know when you can't hit it. Let the group know. I'll keep an eye on your MyFitnessPal logs, and I'll adjust things as needed. But the point is, calorie goal is the most important. Try your best to hit it if you can, but don't worry about it. That's my job, is let me worry about the numbers, go from there. It's not worth stressing about as long as you're not way off the mark. Like I said, if you're within even 20 grams under, that's fine. Just keep trying. Don't stress about it. The next thing I want to mention is related to this question, but it's from what I've seen of people making comments in group, is that I have said before that it's okay to now and then get all of your protein from a shake. Now and then. But it's not ideal for dealing with hunger or long-term adherence. It's not a good idea to do that as your permanent plan. I believe I said this in the last hangout, but if all of your protein comes from whey protein shakes, you may be missing out on vitamins and minerals that would come from other protein sources. And I also think that it's vital that you spread out your protein throughout the day. Some of you are doing intermittent fasting, some of you are not. If you're doing intermittent fasting, you'll have an eating window of 10 to 12 hours. You'd want to spread your protein out across that window. There's a couple reasons for that, but I've noticed that a couple people seem to have been trying to cram all of their protein in a very short period of time and through shakes. And like I said, you can do that occasionally, but the consequences of that are that you could run into that digestive problems. Like I said, protein takes a lot of energy to digest, makes you feel full. So taking in all that protein at once can cause gas, bloating, make you feel sick. Those are things we don't want to happen. Let's see. Yes. Oh, the other thing is, if once you get all of that protein in and then you've digested it, it's possible that you may be hungrier after the fact if you're not spreading it out. So eating all of your protein in one meal, then you might be hungrier. And if the reason you're getting all of your protein in one meal is so that you can eat other things and fit them in all day long, that kind of seems like that's almost like setting yourself up to binge, where you eat fast digesting carbs and sugar all day, and then have 150 grams of protein in one shake before bed. Probably not a great idea. I don't think that's sustainable, and I don't think that will let you keep off any weight that you lose as a long-term strategy. All right. The next question was, does the calorie number you gave us account for workout days? A couple workout days, I think when they're back-to-back, I end up ravenous. The short answer is that yes, your calorie goals account for your exercise days, specifically because we are not eating back any calories that are burned through exercise. One of the reasons for that is that anything that tells you how many calories you burn from an exercise is likely exaggerated to the extreme. The other reason for that is that the primary thing that's going to cause weight loss is going to be the nutrition. So if you're exercising multiple days in a row, we don't want to have anything that's going to cause you to overshoot your goals. So that might be a period where you want to scale back on your activity, unless it's something that you absolutely love doing. If it's an activity that you love to do, don't scale back on it. So it's very possible that on some days you just may be hungrier than others, depending on what you ate. And in those cases, you just may kind of want to switch around your food choices a little bit, focus on your protein, your fiber, and the green vegetables that you really don't have to track. You can use to fill you up. You should know by now that I'm not a stickler for food choices. I think you should eat foods you enjoy. But when you are hungrier, it may warrant a look at the food choices leading up to that ravenous hunger. So you may want to make a couple different choices to kind of only to say, hey, I'm really hungry. I should make a choice here that's going to make me not hungry, rather than going over your goals. Or, I'd rather you, like I said, do exercise you enjoy and then make different food choices so that you can still meet your goals, still do the exercise you love, and then not be hungry anymore. So different food choices may help you meet your goals, help with the hunger, and still let you do exercises that you love. So that was the 3 questions I saw in the QA. And I know Jess said that she cannot talk and submit a question in the QA portion. Can anyone else do that? And are there any other questions? So I'll give that a minute. I know I kind of seems like questions have a much shorter answers this time because it seems like they're a little bit straightforward. If there's anything else I could add or anything else you want to know, if you can't seem to talk or type a question into the Q&A portion, you can send me a private message on Photocracy really quick, and I'll just pause for a minute and wait to see if any come in. Or in groups, fine too. All right, I'm going to give it just a couple more minutes. I know that some people have said they had some problems submitting. I'm not specifically sure why that is. But as always, I know I do the same thing. Once it's over, then you come up with your question. Please feel free to post it in group, and I'll answer it as soon as I can. And I do always appreciate any feedback. Let me know how is the audio better this time than last time, because it is a different computer. I'll review it myself too, but I do appreciate any feedback as far as that goes. I'll just give it like 2 more minutes. All right, I'm going to give it 1 more minute. All right, well, let me know if some of you were trying. I know, Jess, you had a problem. We can look at that later. Let me know if there's any questions you thought of after the fact, and I'll try to answer them. And, as always, give me any feedback you have, and I will set up another Hangout for next week, same time, but I'll include the link on Sunday's updates. All right, everyone, have a good night. Thank you.